Hey yo! What's up, everybody? Including myself. I need a hug today, guys. Like, I really need a hug. I deserve a hug, but like, just to hug the inner child, you know, yeah, and have compassion on yourself when you're drinking. Yo, Castle Light, you gotta pay the boy. Castle Light, I want $1 million, man. I'm sponsoring you. Shout out to Castle Lights, man. For sponsoring this video. You know, so yeah, man. Like, I want to talk to you about like a wound that has been running me for so long. Without me being able to identify it. Like so today I woke up and I finally understand what the wound is about. So basically, the wound started in 2016, when I separated with my high school girlfriend of many years. We dated for so long, separating and getting back together. Going to university, getting back together. So that separation that happened in 2016 triggered a pain that I could not identify up until now, a wound that I couldn't identify until now. So I started to feel like these chest pains, like like tightness in my chest, and at the time, I never smoked cigarette. I did smoke weed. And then, like, when I separated with my ex girlfriend, the wound became so strong, it became so painful, and I thought that maybe it was the cigarette, but I knew that there was like something off, and I couldn't identify what it was up until now. So that wound triggered like me losing on South African idols, because even losing on South African idol was also a rejection, which also kind of triggered the wound that I'm about to talk about. And the separation of my ex-girlfriend, or maybe even all my ex-girlfriends, triggered there. And the separation with maybe my twin flame now, also the separation that I went through on like and the rejection I went through, like on South African idols, and getting sick after South African idol because of the wound was triggered. And up and like, let's just say for 10 years I couldn't identify what this wound was up until today. So the wound, guys, is about it's about when I was a child. So when I was a child, I was born, and then my mother and father separated when I was born. So when my mother and father separated, they were heads. That means they were both heads. My mother was head because my father had him, and my father was also head because maybe my mother had him. So they were both heads, and now I'm in the middle of two people who are heads. You understand? The other one leaves. My father leaves. He abandons me. you know but he's hurt. That's what I wanna, acknowledge. He's hurt. My mother is hurt. My mother is still with me. My mother is raising me, but my mother, she's hurt. So now I get to carry a wound of two people. It's double pain. My mother is hurt. My father is hurt. The missing father is hurt. The mother that's available, who's raising me currently, she's also hurt. So as a kid, I get to inherit both of those pains, that hurts, you know. And so, as a kid, I would cry a lot. I used to cry a lot. I used to cry a lot as a kid, and I didn't know why I was crying, and nobody knew why I was crying. I mean, they would criticize me. They say we are deaf and all sort of things. And I realize now that no, actually, I was crying because I was wounded. I was in pain. I was in double pain. It was not just the pain of my mother and father separating, but it was also the pain of of a wounded child. Double pain. Two people who are hurt, and you're in the middle of that, and nobody considers your feelings then, and maybe all you hear is like, oh, yo, your father is bad and not that. Maybe we go to your father's side and say, ah, your mother, never gave me a chance, like, because my father said he left my mother because my mother is smart. I don't know, it's not relevant to me now. What I'm saying is, nobody asked me, why I was hurt, and up until now, man, like, you know uh I now I can name that pain now, yeah, man, like, I just really wanted to share that with you, you know the mother's wound and the father's wound, and how you inherit both of them, and the pain that runs you unconsciously without you knowing. And up until now, I think now this is now when I fully remember, because as I grew up, I used to ask them why I used to cry, and all they could tell me was, because I guess they had the same pattern as me, and all they could tell me was, "Hey, mo deaf, hey, mo car, hey, mo car," like, and because the body never lies, guys. The body tells you when it starts to get sick. Like, so my body has been telling me, because I've been still feeling that pain, even up until now. And and now I understand where it comes from. I know why like I was crying. You know, you know. I know why sometimes I be coughing. Because it's that inner child, that shadow, Mvelo. Mvelo. Because at the time I was a child, I identify with Mvelo. So that child was crying and coughing, crying and coughing. And when a child cannot speak, he or she cries and coughs it out, like, with the body. Because the body never lies. Because the kid doesn't know how to express himself with ways, so he coughs it out, like, with his, like, uh like, in his body, and like, after South African Idols, getting a wooden mic, people started criticizing me, and I started coughing. I never knew what it was. And this is because South African Idol season 15 was in 2019. you know So I think the live show played like around July 2019, and then the whole country started criticizing me. Now it's triggering the wound of when I was criticized as a child. You remember, as a child, when I cried, they criticized me, but sing at death. You understand? So when people criticize me for receiving a wooden mic, now it triggered that wound. And at the time in 2019, 2020, I couldn't identify it. And so I became like that young kid who was crying and coughing to identify that wound. You understand me? You know? So that's what happened. That's what's been happening to my body. So I was crying and coughing all out. Mm, it was 2020. I never wanted to go to, like, clinic or the hospital, because I thought they would say it's COVID. COVID itself, also triggered some wounds. Like, it's funny, like, the timing of all these things. And then, bro, I stayed for 2 years without going to clinic or the hospital. And then when I get to the hospital, they say it's pneumonia. Later on, they say it's bronchiectasis, yeah, bronchiectasis, yeah, bronchiectasis, or bronchiectasis. Is it like that? I think it's that. I think it's that. Yeah, yeah. So now I understand. Why I was diagnosed with that. Like, and yeah. I think I have hope of healing it now. I have better chance of healing it now, because I know what triggers it now. Because sometimes it does come when I be just coughing. So I know that, oh, now I know what it is, man. Thank you so much, guys. Man, it's an amazing journey. So wonderful to share with you. Just my story. Just my story. The wounded parts of me. Yeah, yeah, man. Like, yeah, that was the shadow speaking, man. That's what has been suppressed. And yo, guys, I couldn't figure it out for so long. I tried writing a book, tried piecing it all together, and it's just some things work with divine timing and also time, guys. You have to be patient. You have to learn to spend time alone in solitude. And spend time with your shadow, just listening to your emotion. And the body would tell you everything. The body the body never lies, guys. So the body is the best teacher. And I didn't know that the body can speak, because for the first time yesterday I actually asked the body, what's wrong, body? Why do you keep on coughing? Why do you keep on, like, why what is it that you want to express it out? And today I just woke up, and yeah, man, now yeah, the news is out. I've revealed it. I now know why. Like, sometimes I have random attacks of coughing. You know, yeah. Uh Mvelocity. Thank you so much. I love you.